Hello again, this is Mr. Pete. Welcome back to Studio B. Now in today's video, which is number 975, I will be discussing and talking about and showing you how to use the VEVOR Model 13B. Now in the last video that I did recently, that was number 974, I talked all about how to use number 13A. Now these machines are very similar. So let's talk about the differences and then grind a few drills with this and have some fun. So let's get at it. As you know, I now have 3 of the VEVOR grinders. This is the first one, and there are videos on that, and I will put links in the descriptions as well as links in the description on how to buy these and the pricing and all of that. But this is the one that I made a video on last year. You know, I've got a number 1 on here that I put, but it barely shows up. But anyway, if I talk about number 1, that's it. This was number 2, and number 3 is the one that we are going to discuss today. I'm not sure if they still make the yellow one, which was Model 13B. And by the way, CE is all about China. And I'll explain that at the end of the video. So I included that in the number last time, and I was incorrect. Kind of forget about that. It's not indicated on the other ones. But anyway, the orange one here is MR13A, and the other one we're talking about today is MR13B. These grinders are very well packed in triple cardboard, and they've got corners here and then everything in styrofoam. So in opening this, you can see what we got in this container, and then of course I've had this out already, but I just wanted to show you how it was packed. And there is a set of directions with it, albeit not very good. So take a look at how these are packed. First of all, the collet chuck is wrapped in an oily paper and in perfect condition. And then the collets are right here, and there are, what, 11 of them, I believe. And each one is separately packaged and in its own little wrapper. And these are ER20 collets. I know I'm repeating myself, but there are some people that might not have watched the other videos. So at this time, I'm not going to unpack these. I'll use the collets from the other one. And remember, these collets will accommodate any drill, whether it be fractional, decimal, letter, or metric, from a little bit over 1/8 up to 1/2 inch. And there's the cord, which is readily removable, just like a computer cord. I like that. And a couple of Allen wrenches, and they are metric, of course. So what is the actual difference between these two? Because they are essentially doing the same thing. And as far as actually grinding the drill, they are identical. So you set your drill right over here, and you do the grinding here. But let's note this difference. So the difference is primarily in the hole right here and how you split the point. Now I haven't shown you how to split points yet, and that will be done in the following video. But in this particular one, and this is one we're talking about today, number 3, this point splitting is done more on the end here to the left, or should I say the front, whereas this one is toward the back, and I'm going to have to tell you that I do prefer this. Now this machine costs more, $30 more or so, but supposedly, according to the directions, you can grind end mills, sharpen end mills. So when I ordered this, and that's really why I ordered it, because I thought I could do end mills, and in just a minute I'm going to show you the computer advertisements for VEVOR and what it says about end mills, but in no way can I determine how an end mill could be held in here or ground. If anyone knows any different, or if VEVOR itself contacts me, tell me how to do it, because I just think that that is misinformation, and there is absolutely nothing mentioned in the directions about end mills. So here are the directions for both of them, as you can see, 13A and 13B, and they're not exactly identical when you look through this. They're a little bit different, but again, in this one there's absolutely no information on sharpening end mills. Now I'm going to go up to the computer and show you the VEVOR website and what they have to say. So here is model MR13A, which I covered in the last video. It is $239 and it includes only one wheel. So here is model 13B. Notice that the price is $269, but there are two wheels included. I should point this out that there are 11 collets available, and they're suitable for drills between 3 and 13 millimeters. That's in metric, of course. Now look very closely at this. It says VEVOR MR13B drill bit sharpener, 3 to 13 millimeter end mill grinder, sharpener, and collets. So why does it say end mill grinder when it does not seem to be capable of it? I really don't know. Let me know if you have any information on it, but do not buy it with the thoughts that you can grind end mills on it. But you do get that diamond wheel, so it's a good value. For 30 bucks you're getting the diamond wheel so you can do carbide drills. And as I said before, nowhere in the directions does it ever refer to end mills or any other place in the advertising than what you see right here. In addition to what I just showed you in regards to the location of the point splitting hole, the number 2, which is 13A, does not come with an extra wheel, where this one comes with an extra wheel, which is a diamond wheel, which you can use for carbide drills. So this one is about $239, this is about $269. So for the extra 30 bucks, basically what you're getting is this wheel. Now somebody said, where can you get the wheels if they wear out? And I don't believe you get them from VEVOR, but you would get them from this website here. And I did look at it, and these are kind of costly, especially the diamond one. But I believe they will last a long time. Well, this is a repeat, but let's do it. This is the largest collet out of the 11, and it goes into the collet chuck like that. This is very high quality. And then in it goes, and just snug it up again. You know, you need to be able to reposition it in this direction as we set it up over here. Refer to the other video if you need to in regards how to set this, but I have it at about 1.5 turns counterclockwise, and then again with the drill loose in the chuck. There are flats here and flats here, so get it in there, and then we bring it up as far as it goes and then rotate it until it stops, and then you can tighten this. Let me move the camera for a better view. Okay, I think this is a great view. So put the collet chuck in, and it's not tight yet, so again bring the drill up against as far as it goes, and make sure that the collet chuck is rotated to the right clockwise, and then see how I'm bringing that up until it stops, and at that point tighten it, and all the time I'm pushing up against to maintain the position. Now we are ready to grind. Now if you have done that correctly, I'm using a straight edge here to show you that the drill bit lip should be approximately parallel with what I just showed you there. In other words, this is parallel with this, pretty much, if you have set it up right in the chuck. The machine is set up at 118 degrees or 59 degrees for half of it, which is what the drill gauge shows, and that's again factory set. So that's how we'll grind this, and then we're going to grind another one at 135 degrees, which is also a very popular angle, especially if you're going to split the point. Now this is a cam, and that's what gives you the relief. So again, we've got flats here and flats here, so insert the entire unit into the hole and into the flats and push it in as hard as you can and keep it there as the grinding takes place. Now I'm going to turn this around and drop the guard so you can better see what I'm doing. I'm opening up the guard for clarity and instructional purposes. Do not operate the machine without the guard in place, and be sure and wear your safety glasses. So you can see from this view how the drill is coming in, and of course these grind wheels are manufactured with an angle on them. Now the dust and swarf that you get in here is strictly from the drill, not from the grinding wheel. So here we go, we'll turn the machine on. You do one side, back it off 180 degrees, and we do the other side. Now it's not taking very much off because of what I explained a little bit earlier. So I am going to reset this, and I won't show that. Now sometimes, let me turn that off, if the end of the drill, the tip of the drill is badly damaged or worn, it might help to take it over to the grinder and grind off just a little bit off of the end, and I'm going to do that. Can you see that I did start to sharpen it? So a little bit has been taken off, not very much, but I just ground a little bit off the point. And I'll reset this. On 180 degrees. You will notice that it's taking off quite a bit now, and that is due to the fact that I ground the point a little bit. And let's see what it looks like. Now I have to reset it one more time, and then we'll have it. And I need to point out to you that you can do this very rapidly. Matter of fact, within a minute or a minute and a half, even if it's damaged, it's taking me a lot longer to explain it than what it would take if you were working all by yourself. Okay, I've reset it and we're ready to go. Back and forth until there are no more sparks. Okay, that looks very, very good. A little spot here by my fingernail on the heel, which didn't clean up, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't do any cutting anyway. But you can see how sharp the lip is, and the clearance looks very, very good. And then when we look at like this, you can see the web and the center and the chisel point and all that. And that is a little bit thick and could use possibly a little bit of thinning, but I'm not going to do it on this one at this time. But what we will do is find another drill, and I will grind it to 135 degrees. So the first thing I need to do is to loosen this cap screw and set the machine for 135 degrees. That looks pretty good, and then tighten it. Ready to go. Okay, this 1/2 inch drill is ground at 118 degrees or 59 on one side, and we're going to change that such that it will fit. And I don't know why they don't have 135 degrees. They got 130 and 140, but essentially going to fit in there if you need to measure it or confirm it somewhere between the 130 and 140, but we're going to go by this and the accuracy of this. So let me set this up in the collet, and it will take 3 or 4 passes to clean this up as well, because we're changing the angle. It's not in too bad a shape, however it does have too much clearance, as you can see. And when you got too much clearance like that, it weakens the cutting edge, where it will not have a long life, and it may chip because it's too sharp. Okay, it's set up, and I did grind just a little bit off of the point, as you can see. You may or may not need to do that, and there is a bit of a learning curve on this. It's not very complicated, but you need to practice just a little bit. One side is done. Okay, it's taking shape, but it will need one more grind, I believe. So I will take just a little bit off the tip again, and we'll put it back on. And this is what I'm doing when I said I ground the tip. That's all you need. And I have reset the drill in the collet. Okay, that truly did turn out too good to be true. Just a little bit on the heel here again. I could take another pass, but that's not hurting a thing, and that will disappear if we split the point. Just a little bit of burr on there. Not much. Again, this is 135, and here's the one I did a few minutes earlier that is 118 degrees. Now, I'm not going to split the points in this video. I will do that in the following video because that really is a lesson in itself. But let me attempt right now, before this video is over, to sharpen a smaller bit in the 1/4 inch range, and I'll reset the machine for 118 off camera. Before we move on, let me point out that this is what a split point 135 degree drill looks like. See how that thins out the point? Now that's a factory grind, as is this one, still in the package, and that is what I will be doing to this one in a future video. So watch for that. Alright, I've got a 1/4 inch bit in the collet, and I have reset this for 118 degrees. Now this will take a second grind because you can see there's a bit of a chip right there on the lip, and it didn't clean up right there. The other side looks good, but this was a hand grind that I got at a garage sale, so as you can see it's a bit buggered up here, but it's still a good drill, and it'll take just one more pass. I'll do that real quickly right now. Okay, you can see we got a perfect 59 degrees on a 1/4 inch bit, and it did a beautiful job. This is the smallest one that I've done so far, but in another video I may go down to its minimum, which is 3/16 or a little bit under. But there's a bit that's totally renewed. We did not notice that it doesn't get hot and burn the tip like you might do on a regular grinding wheel. So I have reconditioned that one, and it is good as when it came off the store shelf. Again, these two holes are used for splitting the point. I'm not going to do it in this video, but I want to show you that there's a considerable difference between these two. Notice that here we have, I better zero in on that, there are 2 pins, but yet there are 5 holes, and they can be moved into different positions. So when you use this particular model, and this is the B model that I just used here in the video, in order to split the point, again we got flats here, and we go down and put the flat, and it's like that, and then you do turn your drill and your collet within that range on one side and then on the other. Now I have split some points off camera, and that's what, this is a factory grind, but this is about what it's going to look like. Notice there's 2 pins, but there are no extra holes. So when we grind the split point on a bit, we simply put that in there like that. Of course there would be a drill in it, and push it down as far as it will go until it bottoms out on the shoulder right here, and it will produce this type of tip, a little bit different than the other one. It is very easy to change wheels. This is the CBN wheel equipped at the factory. So you simply loosen up the screw, pull it off of there, and you could put the diamond wheel on for your carbide purposes. And again, you can check these out at that website. These are very heavy and seem to be superb quality, and this is the way they wrap them in the package. Now if you're contemplating buying one of these, again the differences are the split point hole and that the number 3, which costs $30 more. I showed you the prices already. You will get the extra diamond wheel, so that really is a value. Although I tend to prefer this one for the split pointing, but this is really a good deal. And again, I will, in the video description, I will have links to both of these. So choose your weapon. I have to apologize to some people because I think I rather belittled the drill doctor in the last video, and I still have never made a video on this, and I fully intend to, although I did use it a couple times, I believe, and it did work fine. And many people say they have one of these and they love it. They've been using it for years, and I do believe them. It just seems so cheap. Well, it is cheap in comparison, but you know, it's about $100 or $150 cheaper than getting one of these. So this is a good deal for some of you, but these are so foolproof and so much better. I've really never seen anything quite like them for that price. Now I think you know how expensive drills are, and I think that this would probably be $10, $12, even $15 for one drill. So these can pay for themselves pretty fast, particularly if you have handfuls of dull bits that either need to be sharpened or thrown away. Also, there was some criticism where people will say, well, I just grind mine offhand on the grinder and it works fine. And yes, millions of people can do that, but there are many more millions that never have mastered the geometry or the ability to just put this on a grinder and touch it up real quickly, which only takes 30 seconds or less by eye. And when you, especially when you're doing offhand drilling with an electric drill or up on a ladder, you know, it is not really that critical. You need it sharp, but it wouldn't matter if one side is just a little bit different than the other. But the beauty of these is you get great symmetry here on the two sides, and if I was to use this right now, you would notice that 2 chips would come out, not just one. If you don't grind them equally, really you just got one lip that is doing the drilling and the other one just going along for the ride. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll stand by for a few still pictures. And again, links in the description if you're interested or you got a few dollars you don't know what to do with, order one of these. You don't need both of them. Get one or the other. So I'll see you in the next video, and remember there's a lot more videos coming up, including the one where I will use the big plaster model that I talked about and try to explain the geometry, because I think there's an awful lot of people out there that just don't understand the different angles on there. It's not rocket science, but it sure helps if you understand that. Alright, Mr. Pete, I'll see you next time. Earlier in the video I mentioned that I would explain the letters CE on some Chinese product, and it simply means, go ahead and read through this, but it simply means that the product was manufactured in China. That is, it's a China export.